We've been in our snow alert all day. Mayor Belandic was here a bit earlier to report on the city's efforts to battle the effects of the winter storm, and he announced that school parking lots would be cleared so the cars could be moved off the streets to make way for the snow plows.
Since there's no school on Monday, Martin Luther King Day, we're going to clear, and we had Dr. Hannon's cooperation and support, clear all of the parking lots and playgrounds at the schools and ask the citizens to take their cars to those playgrounds rather than leave it on the street, so that our clearing equipment will be able to function at peak efficiency under the circumstances. For those who have emergency problems, the Mayor's Office of Inquiry and Information will be open for 24 hours. Just call, and it'll be round the clock, 744-5000. That's 744-5000. We found CB radio to be very helpful in the '67 snowfall. And once again, we have a CB Citizens Band radio operation at City Hall. And those who have this equipment could call the emergency Channel 9 and just ask for City Main. It's Channel 9, ask for City Main, and our CB operators will be in communication and passing the information on.
We must mention the important thing the mayor brought out was that if you are afraid that you'll be liable if you go out and shovel your sidewalk, he said that he is going to pledge the entire Corporation Council to defend you in any legal action, and urges everybody to go out, grab a shovel, shovel the sidewalk and maybe that of your neighbor, and clear the fire hydrants and be a good guy. That's how we'll equip the snowstorm. And as we reported earlier, the IC and the CTA are having some serious problems. IC officials say the train service is erratic and barely moving at all. They are advising people to avoid using the train if possible. There are no trains running on the Blue Island line. The CTA is crippled citywide. Service is suspended on the Howard line, that's north of Belmont. As for O'Hare, the airport is closed completely and indefinitely. For only the 6th time in the airport's history, all 7 runways for incoming and outgoing air traffic are shut down. Some 2,000 flights were canceled as the snow piled up to more than 26 inches. According to airport officials, plowing efforts are frustrating at best. The wind is picking up tonight, and snow drifts blanket the runways as soon as they are cleared. Thousands of stranded passengers flock to the nearest hotels for overnight accommodations. Every hotel and motel within a normal 15-minute drive from O'Hare is reportedly booked solid, and hotels downtown are filling up. Some passengers don't think the city was doing all it could to clear it up.
I think Belandic needs to get out here desperately, because I don't remember when Mayor Daley was alive that this airport was closed down.
If they can get more equipment, I'd like to see it, but I'd rather be down here than up there scared to death.
I'm retired. I don't have to worry.
The airlines can't help the weather conditions, and I accept it.
Earlier, airport officials said they hope to be open by midnight tonight. Now they say O'Hare is going to be closed until further notice. Northwest southbound Greyhound buses were canceled tonight, leaving many travelers stranded in the Greyhound terminal downtown. 3 eastbound buses were able to leave the city, although they are expected to be running well behind schedule. 2 Amtrak trains had to be canceled today. The Chicago to Champaign, a Illini, and a train to Detroit. But all the other trains are running, although delays of up to 2 hours are reported. Carrie?
Meanwhile, suburban towns and villages are being hit hard, too, by the storm. In Arlington Heights, roads are reported in hazardous condition with a warning not to drive unless it's an emergency. Schaumburg's downtown area has only 1 lane open in each direction, and residential streets are virtually impassable because of abandoned cars. The main street in Waukegan is reported almost impassable, with most residential streets closed. Wind and drifting snow in Highland Park is making driving difficult, and driving is hard in Flossmoor, where stalled cars are a problem. Efforts to open streets in Evergreen Park are underway, but conditions are described as terrible. And Lockport's main streets have only 1 lane open. Officials there say that if you drive outside town, you're on your own. As for specific roads, the following are closed at this time. Interstate 80 west of I-55 is closed all the way to Iowa. In Kane County, parts of Illinois Route 64, 38, and 56 are closed. In Cook County, everything west of Arlington Heights is closed. That includes Lake Cook Road and Illinois Routes 19, 72, and 68. Interstates 57 and 55 and the Calumet Expressway are open. but reported to be extremely hazardous, and authorities are having a tough time keeping even one lane open on these roads because of the drifting snow.
Trying to provide a service tonight on some events that might be affecting you tomorrow. A number of public places will remain closed because of the heavy snowfall. You might check with your church or synagogue in the morning. Many religious services and Sunday classes have been canceled in all parts of the area. Sunday classes also are canceled at St. Xavier College at 103rd and Central, at Indiana University Northwest in Gary, at the Purdue University campuses in Calumet and Hammond, and at Governor State University. Monday classes are called off at Northern Illinois University in DeKalb, and Lewis University is canceling all activities until Tuesday. Registration for classes at Harper College have been postponed until next week. The Lyric Opera has postponed tomorrow's sold-out Luciano Pavarotti concert because of the weather. A new date will be announced on that, and the Lyric says that tomorrow's tickets will be honored at the new date. And snowplows are now at work trying to clear the parking lots at a number of suburban shopping centers. It won't be known until the morning which shopping centers will be open for business.
Heavy, wet snow accumulating on roofs is causing problems in the city area. The roof over the one-story dining room of the Friendship Service Retirement Center at 350 West Schaumburg Road collapsed shortly before noon. No one was inside at the time and there were no injuries. But it was the same story and on a bigger scale at the Lakeshore Racquet Club on West Fullerton. Elizabeth Brackett has a report.
The first crack was heard at mid-morning. 3 hours later, the entire middle section of the roof at the Lakeshore Racquet Club collapsed. Although there were about 40 people in the club at the time, miraculously, no one was injured. Racquetball pro Bob Nathan said the club manager was called as soon as players saw the cracks over the center courts.
It had been noticed that the beams had cracked, and they took the precautions they thought were enough.
Do you think they probably should have cleared the courts, all the courts?
I really don't know. It would be hard to say.
If it had been your decision?
Yes.
Club manager Jeff Kaiser said his building engineer told him there was no danger of the roof collapsing, and he saw no reason to clear the entire club. Police and firemen on the scene were concerned about further collapse of the building's walls and kept the press and spectators away from the building. But players and employees were finally allowed back in the remains of the building to pick up their belongings. Fire Chief Walter Braun said he was concerned about more roofs collapsing under the weight of today's snowfall.
What we're having today is, it's not just this place. We're having the same problem throughout the city. With the amount of snow that we have, and on this type of roof or a flat roof, the weight of this snow is really getting to the point, that it's creating a lot of problems.
Manager Jeff Kaiser said the building was insured for over $1.5 million, but could give no immediate damage estimate. He did say he hoped to rebuild and return the 6,000 Lakeshore Club members to the courts as soon as possible. Elizabeth Brackett, Channel 2 News.
Meanwhile, at 87th and Lafayette, a Johnson Products Company warehouse has collapsed. Damage is reported to be extensive. And a roof of a paint store has collapsed at 25 North LaGrange Road in LaGrange. There are no reported injuries at either location. Bill?
I guess the safest rule of thumb tomorrow, if you have any place to go, you better check before you leave home. John Coughlin and Phil Whitelaw will have a complete report on how long this whole thing's going to last when we come back.